Donna Feazell.
And I'm Cathy Tillery.
We are your hosts with The Edge with Donna and Cathy. And we decided to come in the kitchen today.
Yes, we are. We are actually going out on remote starting now. This is our first one where we've actually used our new cameras that Donna and her husband set up. So we are going to actually take off today inside in the kitchen with Donna.
This is my favorite place.
It's awesome.
Anyway. I love the kitchen. You know, this is where you can be really creative. If you were really good in chemistry, or if you have kids who love chemistry in school, teach them about cooking, because that's what cooking is all about. It's chemistry. So last week, one day, or maybe a couple of weeks ago, Cathy and I were talking about beanie burger, and I got this recipe about beanie burger, and Cathy goes, "What's beanie burger?" And I said, "Oh my goodness, you're in for a treat." So we're going to have us some lunch. It'll be a late lunch because of the show. Because the show airs Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. Central. You get your On the Edge with Donna and Cathy. And that's at 1 o'clock. And then after that, afternoon drive home. So what we are doing, I wanted to talk about one of our new sponsors just for a second. And it's called Lone Tree Ranch. And I wanted to show you, I hope you can see this flyer. These are friends of ours who own this ranch, Cathy.
Wow.
You love it. Animals everywhere. These animals are treated with love. They're not mistreated.
And they sell the meat, right?
They sell it. You can buy a whole calf, or you can buy a cow, or you can buy half one. Or you can go in with your friends and buy half one, whatever you want to do.
A quarter, whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to do. So we are using, it's actually ground beef, but what this is actually is ground steak.
Wow.
This is the best. I don't even buy beef at the grocery store anymore. Not since I've been
dying.
It's good. So I've got a freezer just absolutely full of roast and steaks and hamburger meat and that kind of stuff. So that's what this is. And I wanted to show you, first of all, how red that is. I just put it in, and I wanted you to see it. And another thing I wanted to mention about this beef is that, because before, Cathy, you know how it is. You buy ground beef from some grocery stores, and you better hurry up and use it up within a couple, 3 months. Yeah. Or it starts having this weird smell to it.
Yeah.
I hate that. I don't know how much I throw
or it turns
away.
brown. It's bad.
You can actually keep this in your freezer for 1 year. And
That's
it doesn't
good.
have that weird taste to it. And it doesn't have a weird smell to it. So this says, I've had this for about 3 months in the freezer.
Well, so you probably could actually freeze it longer than that then. Because it's my understanding.
It's just that it never lasts that long here.
Well, I was fixing to say, it's my understanding that some meats, Donna, their flavor's not as good, but they're still good, even though they may be freezer burn, right?
Yeah.
You can still eat. Don't throw everything out just because you've got some freezer run going on in your freezer.
Well, and I'll tell you what I do, because I'm really picky about the food we eat.
Right.
And so if there were any freezer burn on this at all, I just break that part off.
Right.
And throw that away.
Right.
By the way, if you're keeping a pile for like your gardening, and like you got cut off limbs and stuff like that, don't put the meat products in it, okay? Because you're using that as mulch for your yard, so you don't need that in there. So anyways, you can see that it's cooking. And so what I like to do is scramble it. So like
you see that? It's an iron. She's using an iron pot.
Cathy, don't you have some good ideas
I have
for
iron skillets, but I do not have an iron pot. That's amazing.
Because
you could use that on the grill.
This is my grandmother's.
Yeah, you could use that anytime, anywhere.
You can fry potatoes and eat whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Now, you care for your iron really well. So what do you do as far as care?
Well, the biggest thing is never put soap in them after you're finished. You've got to you can rinse it out with water, like if some of it's stuck, I guess. And then, years ago, I know all you moms probably out there know this, Pampered Chef made these little brown, it's like a little thin wafer type thing, and it'll clean your Pampered Chef. And you can use it in your iron skillet too, because it's just basically like a thin piece of type of plastic. So I usually use that if something's stuck, and then I just wipe mine out. That's all I do.
Yeah, that's all you do. And one thing that Phil likes to do, he'll get a paper towel and get just a little olive oil, just a drop or two, and put that on there, and then just wipe it really good, and that keeps it moist. That way it's not going to turn, it's not going to, sometimes they'll rust, that rust.
Yes.
But I'm going to have to tell you, this was full of rust.
Well, and until Phil
Phil
fixed
conditioned
it up. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I started to say a lot of times though, if you cook a lot of products like bacon and you're using it for cornbread, then you're probably not going to have like a buildup.
No.
But now if you are using like this is a nice pot. That
And it
now
actually has a
things
lid that
could
goes on
stick.
top of it.
That could actually stick
Mhm.
to things. Like if you use sauces and stuff
Mhm.
to cook. But
Because we're going to make beanie burger. And there are several ingredients. Now, a lot of people will add their spices and things like that. At this point, I don't do that. Let me tell you why I don't. Because I'm going to skim the grease off. Okay, so even though it's not a whole lot of grease, I don't want any of it in my.
Right.
It's just not good for you.
No.
The grease like that. So if I were to add my, and this is just a herb seasoning that I came up with. And what this is a bunch of my herbs that I put into one of those, the little grinder thing that you use for your spices.
Right.
And so I ground it up into really fine. It looks almost like ground up pepper or something.
Wow.
But this has got tomato, and it has, smell that, it's got basil in it. It's got all kinds of great herbs.
That smells so good. Did you put garlic in there too? Yeah.
Now the thing about it is you got
garlic.
to dry all these, okay? So there can be no moisture in it whatsoever, because if you do, it's going to mold. So you got to make sure it's completely dried, okay? But if I add this right now, and then when I skim off the grease,
right,
this part of it's going to go in. You're wasting.
Right.
It's basically.
And this meat is fantastic, Donna. It's like super ground round that you would buy probably at the grocery store because there's hardly any
paying
grease.
More than $10 a pound for this is what you would be doing.
Yeah.
And I really do love it. But they are one of our sponsors. Let me go ahead and give you the information while I'm waiting. I'm going to let it cook just a little bit longer. It's Lone Tree Ranch, and again, they raise their own cattle. Okay, and you can buy half or whole available. We always fill up the freezer. And also the telephone number. Oh, and it's Donna and Judy Hunton. He actually pastors the church we go to.
Don and Judy Hunton.
Hunton. They say hunting. Like I'm hunting for fish.
And it's 256-523-6462. That's a pretty easy number to remember.
That's it. So go ahead and check them out and tell them that Donna and Cathy were talking about them.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay, so what we're going to do, I think it's cooked enough. It doesn't take long. You're going to do this in less than 30 minutes. Less than 30 minutes. That's even with us talking to you, okay? So what I'm going to do, so I've got this right here. This is one of my, I love this thing. And what this is going to do is drain the grease out of it. And
I've got it
in another pan. So we'll just put it right here. And another thing I like about this long handle right here.
It doesn't get hot at the end, yeah.
Like it. Now you need to use pot holders otherwise, okay?
Right, yes.
All right.
So she's draining that's the ground beef.
Mm-hmm. And what you're noticing is it's not an oily thing. It's more it's like a
water. Yeah.
And it's so much better for you. And again,
so I imagine his cattle must be
all natural everything.
Yeah, but he's not like grass and onion fed. Remember, that's the ones that taste bad.
Oh,
right?
it has this weird taste.
So make sure when you go to buy your meat, make sure you find out where the cows have been feeding, where they're grazing. If they're fed, corn and hay and those type things, then your meat tastes better.
Well,
if they're just put out in a field with wild onions. My husband said one time he got some meat that was the cow had been eating wild onions, and he said it was awful.
You can taste it.
He said it was like eating wild onions.
And you know something? You can also taste it in the milk. That's why milk tastes different. That's right. Okay, now this is my little concoction right here. This is my homemade. Okay. And every time I make it, it tastes different because I may have a time when I've got more basil coming in than I have anything else coming in. So it may have a basil taste to it. So all you do is put just about a tablespoon of this, and this is a pound of ground beef, by the way. And it has dried tomatoes in it. It has some dill weed in it. And again, it's
garlic, salt and pepper in there.
And
so she's got her own little concoction where she puts everything into one jar.
Absolutely.
Herb seasoning.
The whole thing.
That is nice. So do you have a bunch of these?
No, I'm down to my last one right there. So I'm going to be making more this season.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
And I'll give you one, Cathy.
Yes, please do. Because I love garlic. Now, I never eat, like you were talking about, dried tomato. I've never had that. So this is going to be a real treat for me.
You got to have dried tomato.
That's going to be a really treat for me.
Awesome stuff. Now this is about 2 teaspoons of garlic. Okay, you need to get
this. And that's a fresh garlic or minced garlic.
Yeah, you can get the store bought if you want to, but you can mince it your own self. It's a little better if you do it yourself.
Excuse me. Sorry. This is real TV when you're sneezing.
Well,
Excuse me. I turned away.
You probably got.
I guess that's what it was, because I usually never sneeze.
So there you go. So we've got that in there.
I turned away from the food and covered my sneeze.
And then another thing we're going to add, so we've got that in there. Let's make that.
Okay.
And so this also is some pickled shallots.
What is pickled shallot?
Okay.
Okay, I need to know because I've never heard of that.
It's kind of between a garlic and an onion. It's kind of in between.
Huh.
It's not as acid as an onion.
Okay.
And also, onions, when you cry, when you're cutting them up, I can't help it. I got some.
Oh yeah, I squall.
Not these.
Really?
And Phil doesn't normally like onions or anything like this, but this is pickled, and you use the same recipe that you would use in pickles. And so what you do is you grind it up, really good, and then this stuff will last forever.
And you add vinegar to it.
Put some vinegar and a little bit of sugar. Gives it kind of a sugary taste. And so I'm adding back that shallots. So it's kind of, you're getting a little bit of the onion taste.
This is going to be so good.
Oh my goodness, I wish you could smell this.
My first time to have this.
Oh, this is some good stuff. Okay, now I'm still giving it a little stir, okay? Now I've got it turned down to kind of a low heat.
Okay, so it's simmering, getting the ingredients.
You're getting all those great, great flavors going in there. Okay. And you're always scraping the bottom of the pan, so it's continuing to do its thing.
And that was a pound of ground beef, correct?
A pound.
A pound. 1 pound.
And you can use 1 pound. Normally, in a typical, some grocery stores, you would need to use 2 pounds to have enough meat in there because so much of it is away in grease. And this is so much healthier for you. So please check them out. 256-523-6462, okay?
And we're in Donna's kitchen today.
Yeah. Now, this is where everybody likes to hang.
Well, come to my kitchen. We need to do desserts. We need to get Erica to come help us.
We'll do that at your place.
Yep.
Now, this is another thing. I have a little bit of steak sauce. It's about a tablespoon of steak sauce.
Is that like A1? Kind of just
like
any.
That. But it's the store brand. It's
at Foodland, I bet, because they run with you on your afternoon drive home. So don't. Oh wow! Speaking of, don't forget. Even if you don't find us on Facebook, sometimes there's little glitches there because we actually are on Abundant TV. So make sure you watch us on Abundant TV because it's free. If you have a Roku TV, you can add Abundant TV. As you see at the bottom of the screen, the little TV sign, that's Abundant TV. And then North Alabama, you can watch us on cable. Correct, Donna?
Channel 182 on Charter.
182 on Charter. So be sure to watch us on television especially. And now you can watch us even in Australia, all over the United States and in other countries.
Absolutely.
So we're proud you're with us today. And Donna is making something that I have not had.
And it smells glorious. It does. And even the meat has been in at least 3 or 4 months. Maybe even longer than that. I don't know. But anyway, you've got a little steak sauce, about a tablespoon of steak sauce, and the store brand from Albertville Foodland Plus, just as good as any national brand. And then this is ketchup. It's about a half a cup of ketchup. So,
okay.
So we're ready to add something in there because if we don't, the ground beef's going to get too dry. Okay, so this is, you want
and she did the ketchup instead of her canned salsa tomato thing because I told her, I said, do something that I could do because I don't store
Normally
my tomatoes.
I would add about a half a pint of that.
Yeah, I told you, see. So she did the ketchup because I, and hopefully you, want something very simple and easy to make. And this is.
And this is, you can buy store brand, store brand salsa as well. Now this is about a half a cup of barbecue sauce. And again, store brand.
All right, so your choice, honey barbecue or whatever you want to put, right?
That's what I use.
Honey barbecue, that's what we use.
But you can use any of it.
Yeah, all the stores have usually their own brands. They save you a little bit of money. Dad's, Brad's barbecue sauce. That's usually a little cheaper sometimes, but there's all brands. Heinz, the stores that you shop usually have their own brand that you can use.
Now you can see what it looks like. Okay, so the ground beef is cooked really well, and so we've added the sauces to it.
It smells phenomenal.
Now what we're going to do?
Oh my goodness.
Let's go ahead and get some things out of the way.
Okay.
A little sauce.
Do you need this too?
I'm going to.
Okay.
So now you can add any kind of beans you want to. I've even put pinto beans in here.
Really?
So any kind of whatever you got on hand. Don't fret.
Okay.
Don't
any
worry.
kind of beans.
Don't fret the small stuff, right?
Right. That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So you can use pork and beans. I've used pork and beans a lot. These are the Great Northern beans. There's 2 cans of these, okay? Now you want to leave some of the juice in it, but you know how when you open up a can, there's always just a little bit of that liquid in there. Take some of that out.
So drain the top of the can, and then leave the little bit that's mixed in with it.
You need some of it.
And those are Northern beans?
Great Northern beans.
Great Northern beans.
And there's 2 cans of them.
2 cans of them.
And so you're going to let this simmer. See how fast this was?
That's
I'm just
awesome.
telling you, it's not that big of a deal to cook. If I can do it, anybody can. Anyone on earth can. Okay, so we'll put these in and get them out of the way.
My children would love, especially I have a son-in-law that just loves to eat, like, he's a fisherman. Like a lot of you all are fishermen.
I'm a
So he
fishmonger.
loves fish. My husband loves to fish too. He just doesn't have much time to fish right now, but fish, and he loves to eat things like this. Like anything with meat and beans and
eat it with a salad,
earth.
slaw.
Yeah.
And you got your meal. Toast do some garlic bread, and toast up some garlic bread, and that's super good. Let me show you something. See this, the pickled shallots I was telling you about right here?
Right.
You can make some really good bread. It's almost like garlic bread, okay? So all you have to do is get your bread, put a little bit of butter on top of it, and see the juice. That's why I never throw anything away.
Right.
A little bit of that juice on top of that garlic bread, and it is awesome.
Oh,
Put that in your toaster and let it get brown, and it's good. So don't. This is like liquid gold. Don't throw this stuff away.
Yum.
It'll be really super good. Okay, so we got this stuff boiling right here, and I cook it 10-15 minutes. Probably don't have to cook it that long, and it'll be done. Now, if you like,
And then what is your dish called?
Beanie burger.
Beanie burger.
There's a lady named Maylene Wade, and we grew up. This woman, I just loved her. She was just like a mother to me. And so we would go to their house on Sundays after church, and she would get mad if you didn't go to her house after. She was one of those, you know. And so she would say, "All right, what do you kids want to eat?" We'd go, "Beanie burger." And so, and I've seen people put hot dogs and stuff like that in it.
Right.
So this was her. I don't know if she made this recipe.
Oh, you probably could add hot
Beanie
dogs.
weenie kind of a thing.
Right.
So you could do there, sausages, whatever you wanted to. But we liked it better when she would add the ground beef to it.
I do that. Actually, my husband doesn't really care for it probably too much, but because we had a lot of, well, back when we were children, there wasn't a lot of these different baked bean products in the can that are already seasoned. You remember we used to do pork and beans, and then our parents seasoned them. You remember that?
Yeah.
You had a can of pork and beans.
Out of the can.
No, it was a can of pork and beans, and then I remember my mom would season it with barbecue sauce or salt and pepper, onions, garlic, and then she would add ground beef to it sometimes, and then also beanie weenie. You know, you cut up hot dogs.
You remember those? You take them to school sometimes?
Yes, I did. But you can make your own beanie weenie at home. You just take hot dogs, boil them. Now, you won't want to have to go through the process of cooking them on the grill. You can boil your hot dogs till they're done, and then you can slice them up in little pieces, and then you just add them to your favorite barbecue bean.
Now, I wanted to mention
onions.
something to you. So what's playing right now, episode 6 on Afternoon Drive Home. And this is not Afternoon Drive Home, The Edge with Donna and Cathy.
The Edge with Donna and Cathy.
So let me tell you what can happen sometimes. There's a source that we use, and sometimes there can be a problem with YouTube.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you what, I was fussing with Rob. I thought it was Rob's team doing this, and it really wasn't them. It was an issue with YouTube. Let me tell you about that.
That's why you're seeing us on Abundant TV every day at 1 o'clock from 1 to 1:30, and then after that, stay with Abundant TV because Donna has her afternoon drive home, correct? Right after it?
Right after it.
Right after it.
Right after it.
But I know a lot of you like to catch us on Facebook. So, doesn't that look fabulous?
It's good with a salad.
Yes, you can catch us on Facebook every day at 1 to 1:30. But sometimes there's little glitches with technical things on the Facebook. So just
I
be.
think we got all that ironed out now, though.
No, I don't think.
Every time you start something
a few
new.
shows, yeah. A few shows. When you see this show, there might be a few little shows, in between there that had a few glitches. So we apologize for that, but just watch us on Abundant and on Cable 182 in North Alabama.
I think one of the things that happens is a lot of people they'll do like videos, especially a lot of gaming videos and stuff like that the young people are doing, and they kind of live in a different world than we do. Because you and I, we're used to, it's exactly 1 o'clock for that appointment. We're there like at 10 till. That's what we are. But some of the younger people, things are just a little bit different with them.
Yeah, and we try to share it. Actually, Donna's husband does a great job. He's our behind-the-scenes tech man, and he does a great job. But sometimes there's little glitches that he can't help. So if something happens, you don't see me or Donna share it on our regular personal Facebook page wall. It may be that it actually ran a little bit like behind schedule, so you might catch it at 3:30 in the afternoon.
No fret, we're going to get the show to you. I promise you.
But you'll get it either on Facebook or Abundant if you're on the go. Though I know you like the Facebook.
Kathy, I wanted to show everybody something real quick, and I thought we might have, because I'm telling you, it doesn't take long to cook this.
This is so good. Can y'all see that?
It's not even 30 minutes yet.
Can you see that?
It's been more like 22 minutes.
Oh my gosh! And it looks it smells
good.
So.
And I'll tell you what, it's
good.
even better left over.
But now, Donna, a lot of people don't have that homemade seasoning. So they could add
some salt and pepper.
I was fixing things. They could add salt, pepper, a little garlic.
It's good that way too.
You could probably even add
garlic
red peppers.
powder.
Yeah, the garlic powder.
Hey, whatever's in the garden is what you add to this. Now, during bell pepper season, I put a lot of bell pepper in there.
And onions and that's awesome.
But do put the shallots, because if you have maybe your spouse or somebody can't quite, because sometimes people can't eat onions.
Right.
They're just a little. Phil is one of those. He loves them. It's just that they don't agree. He says it doesn't agree with me.
Right. Heartburn.
But the shallots he can handle. He sure can. So I knew that this would not take long. So I knew we were going to have a little bit of time. So I wanted to show you how you can actually make your own powder makeup.
Powder foundation, is what she's talking about, girls.
And I have to, because my skin is crazy sensitive. So there are some products I can't use, or I'll start breaking out like crazy. So this is easy. Arrowroot powder is what this is made out of. And you can get this, and by the way, you can get a big bag of it. Go to Amazon.com. Get a huge bag of it for about $10. It'll last you forever.
Arrowroot powder. Okay, now this is coming from Donna.
It lasts forever. Okay?
Let's see what Donna has to say about that. She's giving some makeup tips.
Now you have to use the right amount, okay? Because you can't, because it is white. I mean, completely white.
Oh yeah, so it's like baby powder white.
So it is that.
Okay.
So what I do is add a little bit of cocoa and cinnamon, and it smells heavenly.
So you're putting cocoa and cinnamon on your face. Wow.
Yeah. Now, natural stuff, okay? So this is, again, I'm using natural products, and I just make it up and put in a little candle jar and put a nice lid on it. You want to keep moisture away from it, so you're going to keep it in a tight lid. So all I do is just add the ingredients together, and then I sift it. And I sift it several times, and that way you got the products blended really well.
Okay, sift it. What do you mean? Like in a real sifter?
In a real sifter, like your grandma used to
Oh, like
use.
the flour sifter.
Mm-hmm. But if you don't have a sifter, you can also put it in a food processor.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So you take tell us again the 3 ingredients. An arrowroot powder that you can buy, like you can order it on Amazon. And
I've not found it. It sounds like Shop Local. I've not found it here anywhere.
What's the second thing? Cinnamon?
And cocoa.
And cocoa. And that gives your color.
It gives you the color. So it puts a little bit of red. I don't need a whole lot of red.
Right.
So I put a little bit of red, and now just small amounts, depends on, like you're darker skinned than I am.
Yeah.
So we'd put a little bit more of cocoa powder for you. But now it's one of those, you got to test it, okay? And the best way to test it is on your wrist. So you want to get your brush, whatever your makeup brush is you're using, and just kind of dip it in here, just bring the brush, and I didn't do it. So, here it is. And because it's very powdery, okay? It's a loose powder. So this is what you want to do. You want to go ahead and put just a tiny bit on the powder brush, and you just do this, okay?
Shake off the excess, right? Tap it off.
And even more so, you want to go into the lid, okay?
That way you're not wasting any of it either.
You don't have about wasting stuff. And so this is what you do. Just put a little bit just to check the color.
Right.
Wow.
That's
So
amazing.
that's how it works. And so I've been doing this for a really long time. And
so you use the flour sifter. The reason why you use that then, Donna,
just to
is
blend
to get all the
ingredients.
and to get all the little particles
Just
out,
in case
right?
there's a particle or two in
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
And then you'll
that's
get rid of that. So that's how you can make your own makeup. And
Isn't that
it's kind of,
nice?
that's what mineral makeup is. You know, the big rage mineral
Right.
makeup, because it's a natural product.
Mm-hmm.
It's mineral makeup. And you're not paying, oh my goodness, a big bag of this arrowroot costs about $10. That's including shipping, by the way.
And then the cocoa you're using,
I
it's
just
just
got
like
that from the
regular,
kitchen.
just regular old Hershey's cocoa.
Or a store brand, you know,
Right.
whatever you want to use. I think I'm going to use
Wow.
a store brand, knowing me. And then
Cinnamon.
yeah, you can get that at Dollar Tree.
But now that's what is the kind of cinnamon that you buy? It's not the cinnamon sticks. Now
No,
you don't ground that up.
cinnamon.
You want ground cinnamon.
You can
And
even
then
put nutmeg if you want to.
Okay, and you add those in together, and then
Exactly.
you put them in the sifter and sift it like you would
Or
flour.
your food processor. And again, it's all natural products. Now, I have a
It's cool,
particular grinder I use just for my face products and stuff like that. And then I have one I use for my food products. And I know it's clean. It's just I got this fanatical thing about it. You know, oh my goodness, that may have something in it I don't need in my food. It doesn't matter. This is all food products right here. So, no biggie.
That is
There you
nice.
go.
This looks so
Now,
good,
see,
Donna.
it's thickening up. It's looking so good. Let me show you. And
Can you
again, it's got an
see?
extra long handle. Otherwise,
Look at
I would
this,
have my
it's
pot
steaming.
holder.
Yeah, it's really hot.
But you
That
can
looks
hardly wait for
really
lunch today,
good.
right?
Those beans now are no longer white.
They look like
They've simmered
like pork and
and
beans.
oh
Look
look,
at that.
that is just looks
And it
phenomenal.
smells so good. It's the ground beef. I
Yeah.
really believe this. I really believe it, because nothing can turn me off worse than ground beef that has been in the freezer for 3 months.
Oh yeah.
This could be a year. I mean, I've
Right.
had their ground beef in my freezer for a year before.
Okay, so with something like this, I know we used the ground beef today from the vendor that she's bought it from, so she's personally got
I got
good
connections
taste with them. But this is something actually with deer season here.
Use deer meat.
It's coming. I was fixing to say, because you know how sometimes deer meat has that twang to it. It's like
Has a
very
wild taste.
yes, it's wild game.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you can use it in chili and spaghetti, and this.
Perfect for that.
Oh yeah, because all the seasoning you put in it. Oh
Did you
wow,
guys make
yeah.
jerky out of the deer meat?
Now, I don't know how, but my husband's friend makes it all the time, and my son-in-law's father makes jerky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a jerky fan myself, but
I'm not
men,
either.
they love it.
Yeah, men like jerky.
They love it. My son loves it. I don't know a man that doesn't like
A lot
jerky,
of
but
preppers love jerky.
yeah,
Your
they love
preppers,
it.
and I'm on a lot of blog sites, you know, with the preppers. I'm gonna say preppers
Yeah.
know what they're doing.
Yeah, they do.
They got it going on.
Well,
Kathy,
thank
we're gonna have to
you.
go.
I know we've got to
don't wanna
run.
leave.
We had a great show. I hope you enjoy this dish because I'm going to enjoy it. We're fixing to eat.
Mhm.
Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Y'all take care. Oh, another thing you can do is drain some corn, like whole kernel corn, and put that in there.
Oh yeah,
That's super good as well.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for watching again The Edge with Donna and Cathy. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications locally in North Alabama. And you can also find us all over the place with Abundant TV, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Again, thank you so much for watching, and you are the apple of our eye.